Mondays in Midtown is the hottest public affairs news magazine on closed circuit television. Bow! And hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Mondays in Midtown. I'm Mark Zinn. Coming to you from our new studio angle. Here at SLU-TV, we have a window, people walking by, have some signs out there. Hello, we'll go out and talk to some people a little bit later in the program. But last week we sat down with Jim Keady. He was here to speak about sweatshops and what Nike and other companies have done in the past and what he's trying to do to help these sweatshop issues slow down and stop in countries around the world. Thank you for coming on Mondays in Midtown.
Mark, I'm happy to be here. Please call me Jim. My father's Mr. Keady.
Well, hello, Jim. Can you preview for our audience your speech this evening?
Sure. I'm going to do a program called Behind the Swoosh, Sweatshops and Social Justice. It's a case study on Nike's operations in Indonesia. And I'm going to try to introduce students to the issue of sweatshops, literally how their clothes are made, and introduce them to the people that make their clothes, and hopefully raise their awareness about those men, women, and unfortunately sometimes children that make the stuff that we love to buy and wear here in the United States.
And tell me about your background. You were a coach in Division I. That's a nice gig if you're coaching soccer in Division I.
Back in the late 90s, I was coaching at St. John's University in New York City. In 96, St. John's was the NCAA Division I national champions, best program in the country. I was brought in 97 to join the staff as an assistant coach, as the goalkeeper coach. And at the same time that I had started my coaching at St. John's, I also started pursuing a master's degree in theology. And in my first class, Moral Person, Moral Society, my professor was urging me to find a paper topic linking moral theology and sports, two things that he felt I had a passion for. And by chance, after a couple of things that I'd read in the newspaper and in one of the textbooks that my professor was using with his undergrad students, I learned about this Nike sweatshop issue. And I said, yeah, let me look into this for my paper. Mm-hmm. And ironically, at the same time that I start digging in and doing all this research and finding out how horribly Nike's treating their workers in their factories in Southeast Asia and in China, the St. John's University Athletic Department was negotiating a $3.5 million endorsement contract with Nike, and part of that deal would require me as a coach to wear and promote Nike products. And I eventually took a stand, and I said, as a Catholic in good conscience, I cannot and will not be a walking advertisement for a company.
So they fired you?
I was constructively discharged, is the legal term. I was forced to resign. I wish, looking back now, I wish I'd held my ground firmer and forced the firing. Mm-hmm. But I kind of reached a point where I didn't know what else to do. So sure. I resigned in a sense in protest. But it was a forced resignation. I was told, you're wearing Nike and you drop this or get out. Mm-hmm. And that, I eventually filed a lawsuit against St. John's, and I threw Nike in as well, and that was big news, and I was on ESPN and HBO Sports.
When was that?
That was back in '98. And unfortunately, I lost my lawsuit, then I lost again on appeal. What was really interesting was that the federal judges couldn't wrap their head around the idea that I was saying that my religious beliefs I was being persecuted because of my religious beliefs at an institution that was supposedly promoting my religious beliefs.
And have you been working on this cause then ever since?
Sure, yeah. From after I filed the lawsuit, things exploded, and because of the media attention I was getting, I started getting invited to colleges to speak about the issue. And in my early lectures, I would have the market fundamentalists in the audience saying, you know what you're talking about? Those are great jobs for those poor people, and they love Nike over there. And I knew from my research that wasn't the case, but I really wanted to prove my critics wrong. So I moved to Indonesia in the summer of 2000. And I went to go live with factory workers and live on their wages, and I tried to survive on the $1.25 a day what they were making at the time. Yeah, I immersed myself in the reality of the workers. And I came back from that trip, and I thought I was going to do, I promised the workers, look, I'll go home, I'm going to tell your story, I'll rally people to the cause. I thought I was going to do that for about 10 weeks, and I've been on the road now for 10 years, and I've spoken to more than 500 schools in 44 different states and 3 different countries. I've been brought down to Capitol Hill to brief members of Congress about the issue. I've been brought in by business leaders, presidents of universities, athletes, activists to educate them on the issue. And I'm here tonight to share this case study behind the swoosh with the students and the staff here at St. Louis University.
So you've been doing this for a while. Is it still an issue though? I mean, if you started in 2000, have you raised enough awareness where it's not as big as an issue as it used to be?
I think the issue is the key issues for workers are wages and having union contracts that really mean something. And I was just in Indonesia in June of 2010, so only a few months ago, and the spending power that workers have now is actually less when pegged against inflation than it was when I started in 2000.
What has Nike done in his past 10 years? I mean,
they've done,
behind the swoosh.
Yeah, Nike has done a lot of public relations. They've dealt with some issues that are kind of low-hanging fruit that really don't cost them any money. But on those key issues, having increased wages for workers and having Nike sit down and negotiate and then sign on to tri-party collective bargaining agreements, Nike, factory, union, they want no part of it.
Is there a way to have this concept of globalization, but do it through just means?
Of course. I think globalization, really one of the first major institutions to globalize were the Jesuits. And you look at some of the early work and certainly the Jesuits made some mistakes, but some of the early work they did in South America. I mean, if you ever rent the film The Mission, you can see the positive things they were doing and really incorporating the local people in developing their own local economies and having control over it, as opposed to how globalization is structured now, where transnational corporations just seek out where the cheapest and most abundant resources are and extract them to maximize profits for shareholders in the United States and Western Europe and Australia.
Interesting. Real quick before we close up this conversation, we had and I usually don't do off camera what we've talked about off camera, but you said that SLU High School had a very special place in your heart.
It
right,
did.
Jim?
I did say that, yes, and I can't imagine why you'd be asking this question. Did you go to SLU?
I did. I got to go to SLU High. But you said that SLU High School had a very special place in your heart.
It
right,
did.
Jim?
I did say that, yes, and I can't imagine why you'd be asking this question. Did you go to SLU?
I did. I got to go to SLU High School.
Okay.
It's a very good place.
Yes. Well, as I shared with you, I've been doing my work for 10 years now. I've lectured at more than 500 schools all over the country, and I've shared with people on multiple occasions that possibly the most intelligent audience that I ever spoke to was at SLU High School. And I've spoken at Princeton, Dartmouth, Yale, a number of schools.
And that makes sense.
Of course.
I think that does make sense. So I appreciate you coming on tonight.
You got it,
and your
Mark.
speech tonight.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would have liked to see more of a turnout from the student body, but I think that just looking at the few surveys that we've already collected now, all of them have been 5s. We've got 2 4s.
I love Jim Keady. He went to my high school 2 years ago, Lyall Academy. And just to I've been following his progress for the last 2 years, and a lot of the stuff he talked about tonight shows the real progress that we can do, as high school students and now as college students. It really is a testament to the power that, even maybe the bottom of the food chain has.
I think a lot of people were impacted by what he had to say.
It's scary on the one hand, how overwhelming the issue seems, but also kind of empowering to know that, just on levels like that, just by talking to the athletic director of SLU, maybe we can actually make change in, going, I guess, past words. He had the quote from Dalai Lama that it's not enough to be compassionate, you need to act. And I think that, that's what I got out of it. That is.
I was actually shocked very much by what he said and the actual facts, because we had learned a little bit about it, but then we also learned that they cleaned it up a bit. And it was interesting to hear that Nike can lie about it and get away with it.
Well, I think his call to action to the SLU athletes is really important. And I think it would send a strong message. And I think we can maybe send messages to President Biondi or even, Coach Majerus to make students, and especially the athletes that are signing contracts, aware of what they're signing on to as far as being a walking billboard with Nike symbols and logos all over your uniforms.
I am also a soccer player, so I might cover my Nike signs maybe. Again, it's not going to be as big as I might want it to be, but with sportswear the way it is, it'll be as much as I can do.
Sure. Thank you. And again, that was Jim Keady with some student reaction from last week's speech here at the Bush Student Center. Special thanks to the Great Issues Committee for bringing him to SLU's campus. We have a new segment. Our own Dr. Z. Schaefer has his commentary on communication.
I was just going to talk a little bit today about media consumption. The final chapter in our Human Communication and Culture textbook talks a lot about new media and what that means as opposed to traditional media. Some forms of traditional media are things like television, radio, print, newspapers, magazine, books, etc. But a lot of students get excited about how new media, things such as Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and MySpace, sort of infiltrate their lives and how it changes their forms of communication. And one thing I always remind students is that you are actually consuming something when you're using those products. So much like when you go to a store to buy a printer or an automobile or a piece of clothing, when you're watching the news, you are actually consuming ideas, which many times is more important than actually buying some other object. So our final class today ended up talking a bit about how not to be sponges. You want to absorb things that you see in the media, but you don't want to not question anything. You want to be able to find multiple sources, to do fact checking. These are things that people across all sides of politics should recommend an intelligent consumer or citizen-based society to do. Because a few pillars of intelligence are choice, access to information, and competition. So good ideas win out, but to be a good media consumer, you also need to make sure you're covering all your bases.
And again, that was Dr. Z. Schaefer with our newest commentary segment. And joining us now, our senior sports analyst, Willie McKenna. Hi, Willie. How are you?
How you doing, Mark?
You like the new window?
I like this. This is a nice little touch here. This is good stuff.
Good stuff. So, hey, the Rams, big win this weekend over the Cardinals.
Right, yeah. This was a really big win for the Rams to come in there. Another NFC West opponent here against the Arizona Cardinals. They moved to 6-6 now on the season. So a really big win for them, and that puts them atop the NFC West by a half game, which they're sharing right now with the Seattle Seahawks.
You think we're going to win the NFC?
I think it's a great possibility. I think we have a little bit of an easier record coming up. We play Seattle, we play San Francisco, Kansas City, and we have New Orleans coming up next week, which is our toughest test. But I think overall we have an easier schedule than Seattle.
Now, the Cardinals also made some news this weekend with the recent acquisition, I guess you could say.
Right, the winter meetings are coming up for Major League Baseball right now. The Cardinals signed Lance Berkman, former Houston Astro, really great switch-hitting player. They signed him to a one-year, $8 million contract. And also another big deal out there, the Washington Nationals signed Jason Worth for 7 years, $126 million. So a huge deal by the Washington Nationals to try to elevate their club to the next level.
Well, we appreciate it, Willie. We're going to have to keep on watching the sports world as we head into this extended Christmas break, and we'll be right back after this. Monday, a dreaded day that marks the beginning of another week of routine. The beginning of alarm clocks, meeting times, and homework. Fortunately, there's a whole TV show dedicated to breaking these tedious habits. So relax, breathe in the air around you, and take in a glass of Mondays in Midtown. And welcome back. It's now time for the Spotlight on St. Louis.
Located just off the Kingsbury exit of Highway 40, a few exits west of campus, is the St. Louis Science Center. The Science Center is a great time for kids and adults of all ages, as well as for both science lovers and those who may not consider science their favorite subject. The Science Center features many exhibits, including Cyberville, which explains technology to kids through activities such as creating your own web page, which you can view later at home, programming a train to move forward or backward and to move at various speeds, playing a laser harp, and making music while playing hopscotch. You can also visit the Life Sciences Lab, where you can perform experiments including viewing your own DNA in cells, fingerprints, and solving a crime using chromatography. At the lab, you often have the opportunity to watch scientists at work as well. Looking for more? There are 10-minute science shows on various topics every hour at the center stage, as well as an always-changing large exhibit, usually located at the Explorer Dorm. The last two have been about pirates, and one entitled Grossology, the gross functions of your body. Possibly the most popular attraction at the Science Center is the OmniMax Theater. We asked their chief projectionist to tell us about it.
The OmniMax is a domed IMAX theater. It's an 88-foot diameter screen that shows 70mm film, standard IMAX stock film generally. We've been here since 1990. I'm the chief projectionist, so I assemble the films, As they come in, they usually come in pieces, and I'm responsible for maintaining all the equipment in the system, which it's a 15,000 watt water-cooled xenon lamp that, you know, being water-cooled has a coolant system, and the system also has pressurized air and all the electrical involved in that, and the audio system.
Over here, the for action. This is the real unit.
So the film comes from here.
Yeah, it comes from here. That's another real unit also.
Rolls through there and
all the way up. The projector comes back down. It's taken up on this ladder right here.
Very cool.
Cool?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Here.
Ready to see a breathtaking IMAX picture in the wraparound domed OmniMax Theater, or explore the exciting and free exhibits? The St. Louis Science Center would be glad to have you. And while you are there, you might want to beat me to the planetarium, which we will be spotlighting when we return. But before I left, I had to ask, what is the best part of the Science Center?
All right, the reason why the St. Louis Science Center is great, the most important reason would be because the Science Center is free, and not too many museums or science museums in the United States are free. And there's like over 550 things that people can come around and look at. And we also have like a whole bunch of exhibits that come throughout the year. So that would be the most important reason why the Science Center is free.
And again, that was the spotlight on St. Louis. And we're out here outside the window on SLU with our fan, Courtney. Courtney, how you doing?
I'm great, Mark. How are you?
Doing well. What would you like for Christmas this year?
I would like money to go see Neil Diamond get inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in May of 2011.
Wow, what a surprise that is. That's great. Yeah, we're going to have a little bit more on Neil later in this news program. But I mean, what a great, tremendous singer he is.
Jewish Elvis. He's the best. He's number one.
He is number one. Well, we appreciate you coming out here, and stick around for the rest of the show, okay? All right, let's go with Lyall's Corner. And remember, the views on Lyall's Corner don't necessarily reflect those of Mondays in Midtown, the University, or Father Biondi.
Monday, a dreaded day that marks the beginning of another week of routine. The beginning of alarm clocks, meeting times, and homework. Fortunately, there's a whole TV show dedicated to breaking these tedious habits. So relax, breathe in the air around you, and take in a glass of Mondays in Midtown.
And welcome back. We all know Neil Diamond is a champion. And if you missed my guest commentary in this week's University News, go get it now. It's on the newsstands. And if you're the first fan to email us at mondaysinmidtown@gmail.com with your Neil Diamond wishes, we will give you an autographed copy of my guest commentary, autographed by me. So, email away. And instead of playing a Neil Diamond clip for you this week, for copyright reasons, we're going to sing to you a Neil Diamond song. And by that, I mean I'm going to. Here's my call. Money talks, but it don't sing and dance, and it don't walk. As long as I can have you here with me, I'd much rather be forever in blue jeans, yeah. Sing it! Honey's sweet, but it ain't nothing next to baby's dreams. And if you pardon me, I'd like to say we'll do okay, forever in blue jeans, girl. All right. So that's great. We'll still go ahead and throw you in that Neil Diamond clip. Take a look.
This one's in the album too, but you've heard me sing it before, maybe not this way. I thought love was only true in fairy tales, meant for someone else, but not for me. Love was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all of my dreams. Then I saw her face, and I'm a believer, not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love, and I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. No, not if I tried.
Well, it almost brings a tear in my eye how great he is. Well, we do have some viewer mail to pass along to you. Again, mondaysmidtown@gmail.com. This one comes from Erin Francis. And her boyfriend looks like. I want a tote bag. You got one. And we also have one from Ryan Smith, writing in from Kansas City. He's a SLU alum. He had some suggestions. So as we head into the Christmas break, we're going to be shifting a few things around, and we're going to have one hell of a second semester. But a few suggestions he has is more coverage of crime around campus, especially where students are affected. And also more coverage of academics. He enjoyed our coverage of November's election, and he wishes us good luck. We appreciate it, Ryan. mondaysmidtown@gmail.com, and we will maybe we'll take some of your suggestions and use them. We might not, though. I don't know. It's been a great time here this first semester, and from all of us here at Mondays in Midtown, our director Amanda Hunenfort, Taylor McDonald, and all of our friends and family, thank you for watching. And it's now time for the best of the first semester.
Monday, a dreaded day that marks the beginning of another week of routine. The beginning of alarm clocks, meeting times, and homework. Fortunately, there's a whole TV show dedicated to breaking these tedious habits. So relax, breathe in the air around you, and take in a glass of Mondays in Midtown.
Hello, I'm Mark Zent. We had a great first semester here on Mondays in Midtown. Interviewed some pretty famous people. Had a lot of fun and made some mistakes on the way. Well, I'm here to tell you one thing. Second semester, it's going to be great. Trust me. But with that being said, let's take a look at the best of the first semester with these A-list celebrities.
The challenges you're presented with this year. You've got a team that's got, when you break down the numbers, 9 freshmen, 11 sophomores, 6 juniors, 3 seniors. More than 2/3 of your team are freshmen and sophomores. Regardless of whether you're a new head coach or a veteran head coach or whatnot, that's a challenge to have such a young team.
No, it is. It's a challenge, but it's also exciting because the learning curve for some of these kids is so high, and you can actually see it, week to week, day to day, play by play. You can see the development. And so as a coach, one of the things you like to do is teach, and there are a lot of teachable moments. And so, how quickly our kids learn and how quickly we all get on the same page will determine, how far we go as a team. But it's, we get excited every day we go out to work because we know we've got a bunch of young, bright kids that want to get better.
Chief, thank you for joining us here on Mondays in Midtown. You recently were able to deliver some good news regarding the crime in the city. Would you care to share that with the SLU community?
Yes, crime in the city of St. Louis is down year to date for 2010. This is the 4th year in a row that crime has gone down in the city of St. Louis. And we're very pleased with the numbers that we see this year. In every category, crime is down. Homicides are down this year. Year to date last year, we had 120 homicides at this time. Now we have 104, so that's down 16. In terms of robberies in the city of St. Louis, those numbers are down 24%.
Okay.
And aggravated assaults are also down 24%. Overall, person crime is down 18% in the city of St. Louis, and property crime is down as well. So very encouraging numbers.
That's good news.
Now, I think it's important to note that you just got best hair for a male TV personality in St. Louis.
Thank you, yes.
And I guess I just want to...
Go ahead, touch it.
Wow.
I said to my boss, well, actually, you know, I said, you know, I know we're in a huge ratings battle, and you're probably wondering, well, what, Mike Roberts, do you bring to the ratings battle? Hairspray.
He brings
hairspray.
the hairspray to the battle. That's pretty funny.
I'm not saying it's the best thing, but it's what I got.
Is that we should continue the earnings tax. We cannot lose the earnings tax without a plan to replace it. There's no way we're going to have a plan to replace it by April. And even though this will phase out over a period of time, immediately in the first year it'll mean a drop, first fiscal year, $7 million in our revenues at a time when our revenues are already short. We had a $46 million shortfall this year. So this would be devastating to the city of St. Louis.
You voted for the stimulus package this past year. Do you think that's working to help, to boost the economy?
Well, it's worked on several fronts. Number one, the economy was right at an economic cliff. And economists from left to right and in between, including John McCain's chief economist, Mark Zandi, all said if we don't do a package like this, we would likely go into a full-scale depression. So number one, we prevented that. Number two, it made some major national investments to save and create jobs in the short term and help us have a stronger economy in the long term, like investments in infrastructure, investments in broadband technologies, things that are going to help the economy be stronger in the long run. And we've seen evidence of that around, you can't drive around St. Louis, for example, without seeing orange cones and construction everywhere. Many of those are Recovery Act dollars at work here in our community. And another example, in terms of St. Louis being really a science-driven, innovation-driven community, we've got a chance to be one of the international leaders in biofuels. The Danforth Plant Science Center, working with other scientists in the region, is leading a national coalition to help advance biofuels and get those to market. So a lot of things have happened here, but the rest of the story is we've had 9 straight months of economic job growth in the private sector, but unemployment is still flat, and we still have a lot of work to do.
So what's your...
Yeah, actually, the number one issue when you talk to people is really jobs and the economy. I mean, as much as other issues come up, people have concerns about sort of the classic issues of life and all, and even education. It all comes back to jobs right now. In this district, it's South City, South County, Jefferson County, and St. Genevieve. There's a real sense that people are worried about jobs. And one of the things that a lot of classic Democratic voters, union voters, union households, are pretty fed up with the current Congress because they feel like the stimulus bill, for example, was supposed to be about jobs, and it turns out it really wasn't about jobs. There was a lot of other things going on. So that's how we're communicating across a range of people about the issue where they are, and that is jobs, and who's going to fight for American jobs, who's going to stay focused.
So what's your job plan? I mean, we have a bunch of college students, some of which, just down the road is the 3rd district, and some of which might live there, but what's your job plan?
Well, I mean, I think that the first thing we have to acknowledge is small business is under sort of a burden. It's not so much an attack as a burden. So we need to take the weight off of small business.
Part of what I talk about in my book is that there are literally factories and institutions of terrorism in the world, and they recruit young people, they brainwash them, they train them, they mobilize them, they network them, and part of what we're doing at the Interfaith Youth Corps is trying to be the opposite of that, trying to be a factory, a force, an institution of interfaith cooperation that says to young people, your talents, your identity, your direction in the world ought to be about being an interfaith leader, being a bridge between people from different faiths, bringing people together in understanding and service, right? So the reason I think that terrorism is a high-profile activity in the world right now is because of these very focused institutions that recruit young people and make it a high-profile activity. And I just think in order to defeat those kinds of institutions, we have to be tripling our recruitment of young people for interfaith leadership and showing how magnificent it is to be bringing people from different faiths together.
Comfortable. Have I been anxious? Have I had my heart in my throat? Absolutely. Have I been sweaty at the immigration checkpoint getting out, knowing that I've got these tapes in my bag? Unquestionably. But, you know, that's part of the job. And if you don't, you know, push the envelope a little bit, you're not going to get those results. You're not going to get hidden camera video of myself and a producer doing a $10 million counterfeit Viagra deal in Hong Kong. I mean, you're not going to do that sitting in your office.
As you can tell, it's a pretty awesome show so far. Well, we have bloopers too. You know, we film with live tape. And what I mean by that is we pre-tape our shows, but the tape is continuously running. Well, I'm a little bit loose sometimes. Take a look. Let's do edgy. Edgy. You ever watch the News Edge? I'm edgy? I can be edgy. I can be edgy. Where am I at? Where am I at? I'm on this camera. All right. Yep. Edgy. Oh, there you are. All right, here we are. We did move it. Going back. Oh no, it's this way. I always forget that. Uh-oh. I don't like. Go back to the edgy. I feel like it's like the Jerry Lee Lewis icon for the telethon. No, it's this way. That's our show for this week. Next week, we'll have something for you. Good night. Drive safely. Edgy. We recently visited the studios of KTVI Fox 2. What? All right. Got really excited there. Let's try that again. Whenever I see Matt's face, I smile myself. I didn't know if you were there. Oh, but they overlap us. We're always recording. Mondays in Midtown. We're open for you.
15 minutes.
You're not on TV.
You're on Mondays in Midtown.
It's not TV. You know, well, I have the best voice in the biz. What do you say? I guess that would be the whole panel, everyone together. 0% financing. Oh my goodness.
A little advertisement.
Oh, this is edgy.
Okay, so what are you doing now, right now?
Our hands, they are my own. Is that Jewel that sings that song? Do you guys know what song I'm talking about? Yours, they are mine. Sorry. A real quick plug here for the University News. I sound like Elliot Davis. What are you doing? You paid for it. What are you doing? Sorry. Life. Earthquake. All right.
That would be great.
Every time I look into your love, anything you want, you got it. You want to have him use this? Or I can interview him with the handheld mic. I can interview Colin with the handheld mic over here at our new studio. Pulsating storms. Pulsating up. I don't remember. It's a Nutcracker at the Fox. We do have the Nutcracker at the Fox. But I don't know. I don't know. Hey, yeah. Maybe.
Can I just do this panel like from here?
As we scan the digital Doppler, these storms are pulsating off to the north and to the east, to the southern edge, as a taste of winter is on our doorstep. Looking ahead. Oh, no, weather almanac, looking ahead. Really cold. Get those jackets out. 29 degrees, mostly cloudy, with the winds out of the west. Looking ahead to the weekend. Looking ahead. So that's what running screen is like. Humphreys County, Mississippi. Again, these storms are moving out to the north and east at approximately 50 miles per hour. How fast are these storms moving, David? 50 miles per hour. racing off to the north and to the east. Deadly storms. That is it's Issaquah. Issaquah, and an area called Issaquah. Whoa, whoa, earthquake, all right. Tornado warnings and earthquake. No edgy, no edge. No edge, not during this segment. Love the edge cam.
I do like the edge cam.
It's closed circuit television. We know this. Sure, I've embarrassed myself, but we've also had some good cold opens. Hi everyone, I'm Mark Zinn. It's Labor Day, but here at Mondays in Midtown, we're working for you. It's Monday, we're open. You don't believe me, you're not the truth. No one could look as good as you. Mercy.
You're watching Mondays in Midtown with Mark J. Zinn.
That's your name.
With Logan Howard.
Hi, I'm News Channel 5 meteorologist Mike Roberts. Mark J. Zinn says he has the best hair in St. Louis. I beg to differ.
Son of a... Now, here at Mondays in Midtown, we take government very seriously. So we also take elections very seriously. And with this past midterm election, we had some award-winning coverage.
At Mondays in Midtown, we find government and politics to be very important. So as the midterm election drew near, we brought you extensive, unbiased coverage of the issues and candidates so that you could make an informed decision at the polls. We covered most of the issues facing Missouri voters, from the Senate race to the propositions and constitutional amendments. We hope you appreciated our coverage and will continue to cover any future elections over the course of our show.
Lyall Wilson's a good friend of mine. So when he approached me with a undisclosed amount of money and said he wanted to do a Lyall's Corner segment, I said absolutely. Here is the best of Lyall's Corner.
Whoa, it's Lyall's Corner, boys and girls, come on down. You'll learn about cool things around the town. It's Lyall's Corner!
Hello, America. Chris Hansen is coming Wednesday. Did you know that? This is your opportunity to see Chris Hansen as featured on Dateline NBC. He's done journalism all over the world. In fact, his speech is called Changing the World Through Journalism. He's going to be in the St. Louis room on Wednesday, September 15th. Be there or be somewhere else.
This is the word of the week. Sloosh is a combination of slew and douche, which is short for douchebag. So the word of the week, gentlemen and ladies, is slooshbag. This is there's no general characteristics that define a slooshbag, but anyone can be a slooshbag at any specific point. So if you see anyone guilty of being a slooshbag, make sure you point at them, laugh, and yell sloosh. All right? That's all we got today for Lyall's Corner. For this week's episode of Lyall's Corner, I'm going to be making a journey to Memphis, Tennessee to visit a certain Canis Potter, and with her run an epic 5K mud race in the city of Memphis.
Now that everybody's here and we please have your attention, there is nothing left to fear. Now that Bigfoot is captured and all the children really lied, alright. And all the children really lied, alright. Now all the children all alright.
Guitar humming, hang on to me, girl, the song keeps running on. Ready? Play it now, play it now, play it now, my baby.
Well, guys, we got our prize winner for $10. Come by our apartment sometime in the next couple of weeks to see what we make of this bad boy and to share in the probably 15 pounds of pumpkin seeds we'll have. We are here. Love Mud 2010. Dun 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 dun. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum.
Like a midnight sound, I can hear you cry.
Just like a friend, I wanna take you there.
Like a child.
It's Lyall's Corner!
And the views expressed during that last portion of this best of first semester don't necessarily reflect those of Mondays in Midtown University or Father Biondi. Now it's time for all those potpourri items we have from first semester. Well, good evening and welcome to the inaugural show of Mondays in Midtown. I'm Mark Zinn.
In our inaugural episode of Mondays in Midtown, we introduced you to the host you would grow to love, as well as a few of our key players, John Paul Johnson, our senior political correspondent, and Brett Kostrowski, our senior political analyst. We also brought you the Power Panel. More episodes and segments quickly followed, including the Spotlight on St. Louis, Taylor McDonald's Student Reactions, Lyall's Corner, Sports with Willie, and more. We look forward to continuing our quality programming when we return from break, but first we wish to revisit a bit of two segments that we consider extra special. First up, our visit to Fox.
All right, you're in the Fox 2 studios now, KTVI, out here in beautiful Maryland Heights. Welcome. Good to see you here. This is our main studio, reasonably spacious. Behind you, if you'd like, is the green screen for the weather wall. Every TV station has them. We do here. Kind of go through this in some semblance of order. Here's our big weather center. Dave Murray.
Hello, Dave.
Forecast.
Hey, Dad. I'm learning how to do Facebook. Driving me crazy.
Comes in. Twitter next. Twitter next.
No, I don't think so.
This is our tree position, so we can sort of stand here and have various things behind us.
Like you'll see your Contact 2 report later.
Contact 2 reports are often done from here. That's right. Just gives the newscast a different look. The main anchor desk is here. Coming up, I guess, Tom O'Neill and Andy Murphy will be here in a few minutes. Another position here, we call this the sports wall. Sports is typically done here, with that behind you, just to kind of shake it up. They do a lot of that on the news edge at 10 o'clock as well. If you want to just turn around there, we've got the robotic high-definition cameras.
Makes everyone look good in HD, right?
Not everyone, but for it, with enough help, it can sort of work. Yeah. So so that's kind of the way the studio is laid out. Although there are Channel 11 graphics on the screen here right now, the Channel 11 studio is in a different part of the building. None of their newscasts are actually done from here, with the exception of the noon news. The green screen is used for the headlines. But if you're watching at home, you would think that it's Channel 11 that has their graphics and all of that stuff.
Well, dreams come true. Just ask 9-year-old Logan Howard. With the help of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, he was able to hang out with some St. Louis meteorologists today, including KSDK's Mike Roberts and SLU meteorologist Tim Eichler. Why did you want to come to SLU and see Mike Roberts and see all the meteorology stuff?
Because I really like weather and stuff like that.
Yeah? What's your favorite part so far?
Meeting Mike Roberts.
He has good hair, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He does have good hair.
Not one other place.
What's your favorite part about meteorology?
My favorite part is like seeing how, like radar, see which direction the storm moves.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah.
And you like hurricanes too?
Yeah.
What do you like about hurricanes?
I like how they look and swirl and stuff like that, but I can never see them swirl that much.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're big storms though.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be the size of our state sometimes. This whole state behind you there can be engulfed in a hurricane.
Whoa.
Pretty cool stuff.
How that size?
Yeah, probably Earl would be at least this big.
Yeah.
Earl covered a good part of the state. Earl came like this. Came up through southern Missouri, moved northeast, and came just to south of St. Louis. And you know, Missouri is landlocked, so having
Yeah.
hurricanes here is very rare.
Yeah.
And Earl was a tropical storm, but it's still an extremely rare thing for us. Same with south of St. Louis, produced all this heavy rain and wind all across most of Missouri. And then, you know, winds go this way around hurricanes. So in Kentucky, in Louisville, as the storm went by, they had wind gusts to like 80 miles per hour.
Wow.
So really intense event.
What's the favorite thing, your favorite thing you've seen about meteorology? You witness anything cool? Any cool storms?
I always like to look in the past storms,
Oh, that's cool.
like Katrina and stuff like that.
So historical storms. You might not have been around for some of these storms, but you think they're pretty cool, huh? I agree.
I've been through. I lived in Texas when Katrina came.
Oh, wow. So you're not one of those people that will go into bed and cover up under the covers and there's lightning and stuff. You're outside, right?
No.
You shouldn't be outside.
Not when
It's
lightning
dangerous.
is- Not when lightning's.
Right. That's pretty cool. Well, are you excited to go see SLU-TV and everything? All right, let's do it.
Gray areas are like stratus clouds, really
Yeah,
low
like the
clouds.
ones that are like really.
Yeah, like exactly.
It's hurricanes. And so anytime it's hurricane season, he gets on the Weather Channel again and he watches it. And, you know, like you said before, he gets his maps out and he takes like coins or playing cards and, you know, laying out wherever it is. And then he moves the coins and the playing cards in the direction of where the hurricane's supposed to go.
For Monday, it will be 58 degrees. It will be partly cloudy on Monday, though the temperature is pretty seasonable for now. The winds will be south, 8 to 14 miles per hour.
Look at the camera too when you're talking.
For Tuesday, it will be 56 degrees. It will be partly cloudy in the area. It will be cool for the temperatures for now. The winds will be north 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for the 5-day forecast. It is? Oh, it is.
Move over.
Switch over.
That way. There you go.
For Monday, it will be 58, partly cloudy. And on Wednesday, it will be 55 with a chance of rain overnight, 50%. And Thursday's high will be surprisingly 45, which will be below normal for now.
Okay, wrap it up. Now what do you say?
I don't know.
Now on to sports.
Now on to sports. Whatever we do next.
Logan Howard signing off.
The good times, they are killing me. Great first semester best of. Special thanks to our director, Amanda Honigford, and our own Taylor McDonald for making this semester of Mondays in Midtown one worth watching. We'll look forward to a second semester of many different cornucopia sorts of festivities and interviews, and we'll see you around the block. Good night. Go with the windows in the background. Where is there a bush? All right, get a stir. Zoom out, Taylor. Zoom out. Slowly. Go to the other camera. Good work, everyone. Good work.